Okay, cool. So we're gonna code Risk in this video, and a series of video probably, because I'm definitely not gonna do that in one go. Why Risk? Because it's an awesome game. It's got a fairly complicated setup, as well as the game itself, like every turn. So that should be interesting to do, and we're gonna develop that in C because I like C and I wanted to make a C video. So let's go. So first thing first, we're gonna need a Makefile, right? And we are going to also need a test directory. Cool, and that's it. And we also need to create our risk game test.cc, which is going to be a C++ file. Why C++? Because Google Test, that which the test framework we're going to use, is written in C++. So yes, so that's why. So first we are going to need to include our gtest .h. Okay, and so my LSP can't find the thing, so we need to fix that. So on my Mac, usually what I do to have some kind of a per project environment variable, I use a little tool called direnv, and the way that works is that you create a .env of env.rc file, and there you sort of export your environment variable, just like the way you do in Bash or Z Shell, all that stuff, right? So in order to fix this, to make understand my LSP and my editor where to find the includes, we need to populate the environment variable c include path, and we need to populate it with where my stuff, my libs are installed. So on my laptop, which is a Mac, I use Homebrew for that. So there you go. All the include files should be in there, right? And we also need the C++ for the C++ one. And now if I run direnv allow, it should have made available to my project this, and if I now restart my LSP, okay. Well, I guess, yeah, that should do the trick. Why has he not found? Oh yes, because the syntax is just not correct. So that's good. Too many errors emitted. Okay. I'm not sure why that is, but let's ignore that for now. Let's create a basic test, so that's going to be risk game test, and then it creates a game. Okay, and then here we can do expect true, and then true, and then this. All right, now we need to compile that, so let's create the Makefile. So Makefiles are somewhat complicated stuff. I usually use AI to craft mine, but then at some point it writes so much stuff that I don't understand what's going on, really. So let's write it from scratch and learn a bit. So I know that cc is the variable and the cxx for the C++, which is going to hold the executable. We're going to use like the compiler. So we are going to make a test target, which which will basically run the tests, and the test is going to be, I think there will be a bin folder which is equal to bin, we are going to need to also make a test executable, which is going to be in the bin folder, right? And that's going to be what is that going to be? That's going to be that's going to be risk game test. Okay, which like is the same name I gave the C++ file there. And so that's good. And we need to then run this $test executable. And but for that, we sort of need to also compile that test. So let's make a test exe target, like Makefile target. I'm actually going to make it below that because I want test to be the default one. And to do this, we are going to $cxx and then pass it so we need the test source as well. So the test sources are going to be test srcs is going to be equal to let's do a test dir as well, which is going to be tests, and that's going to be stuff that are going to be in the test dir, actually test sources. So we're going to use the wildcard here. So anything that is under the test dir and finishes with and any file that ends in cc, that's going to be our test sources. So this is going to be extending to like risk game dot well, actually we could actually print that to see how this works. So there's a special thing in Makefile where you can say test src, where you can just print your variables there and test src. That is quite handy to debug. So let's do and also let's run make test. Okay, so no such file. Okay, so here test srcs. Well, actually, let's do that. Okay, so test src. So you see, it gets expanded to this, right? So if we had another file, it would become a list, which would be space separated. So that's cool. So what we want to do now is actually compile things. So cxx, and then I think we need to do tests. I think perhaps tests srcs and -o. And then we need to, so we pass the compilation options. And here we tell it -o for the output. That should be the test exe. Right. And that needs to be referenced like this. Let's have let's build this, see how it works. Okay, so that did some stuff, which is good. It doesn't quite work though, because we need to link against the Google library, the Google test libraries. So we need to add some includes. Actually, so let's make some test includes, which we'll just use for the testing purposes. So we are going to -I and then opt homebrew and then includes, which is where my includes are going to be. And we also need to test libs is equal to -L, and that sets the search path for the lib to look for libraries in the homebrew/lib directory. Okay, so we do need to then add this probably here, right? $test include and then $test libs. Let's try that. And that did not quite work because I think we also need LD library flags. I think there is a LD flags. LD flags. CMake. What is an LD flag? LD flag can be used to control symbol visibility with your Golang executable. Yeah, no, LD flags, C flags, documentation somewhere. No. LD flags, C. What is the correct syntax to add? Okay. So we should have some example. Right, so the LD flags, okay. LD flags -L, this is the correct way. C flags dot include, okay. Okay. So that should be test LD flags. And I think you do -L G test and -L G test main to link against the G test main. Will work in such a way that it will provide a main function from entry point for your tests. Otherwise, that means you don't have to create your own. Sometimes you want to create your own because you want to do you want to boot up your tests in a custom way. But for the test of this purpose, like that's not needed, I think. And then we're gonna replace this with test.c flags. Well, actually, that could just be C flags, right? Because we that's the things we want. If we were to build an executable, yeah, oh, that's good. If we were to build an, like, the question is like, do I do test C flags? No, because like we want to include whatever is in there. Maybe we'll use other libs that are in there. Why am I not going to do this for the LG flags? Because and actually let's do LD flags is equal to, oh, you know what? Let's do that. And let's just add those in here. Test sources, test libs. So let's just add those in there, hard coded. That's probably fine. And then here we do C flags. Right, and then here we also need our LD flags. LD flags. And I believe this is not too bad. That's looking good. Except that Okay, let's create as well. No, okay, let's go with that for now. Let's see what that does. Okay, cool. So he's complaining. Well, the bin directory hasn't been created, so let's just create mkdir and then bin. All right, that's good. Let's run the test. And the test pass. Excellent. So that's pretty good. Just want to sanity check, see that it fails. Oh, no, it doesn't fail. Why, I wonder? Well, because, Makefile is smart enough to detect that it's going to look for, try to do this, but it already exists. So it's actually not going to recompile stuff because he's able to determine that this test exit already exists on the file system. So what we need to do now is like to make a clean stuff, a clean function, a clean target actually, which does delete the test executable. Oops, and I cannot type, which deletes the test. And we're gonna call this every time, first thing we do before compiling the test. So now you should see that it's rf the test. Yeah, it's rm. It removes anything there, and we can see that our test is actually failing. So that's a pretty good first round. I guess at that point we could initialize a repository. Oh yes, do that. Track some files. Let's do something like, because I would like to commit the bin folder, but not what is in the bin folder. So let's git keep. Okay, which is going to be an empty file, .git keep. Cool, and we are going to add this, but we don't want to add this, right? And we also want to create a git ignore file, which will ignore anything in the bin directory. Okay, cool. Right, which is good. And we want to commit the test, obviously, so that sounds good. I like this in this message. In the beginning, there was darkness. Yes, in the beginning, there was darkness. Cool. Right. Well, job done. I think I will stop there for this episode, and we can actually start coding the game in the next episode.